Hello, my name is Ms. Mara, and if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're a student in my applied math class. So the first thing that I want to do in this video is show you a little bit of my room, because I know that normally during open house, people come in and actually get to see the setup that their students are learning in. And with this whole virtual setup, I'm sure you're very curious to kind of see the layout of the room. Let me start by bringing the camera around. So the first thing you'll see is in the back of the room, I kind of have a board in which I give the kids a daily agenda of kind of what we're going to be going over, what notes we're going to be going over. The desks are all 6 feet apart, of course, and then we have the front of the board along with a chair and a podium in which I spend most of my teaching time sitting up there and instructing, so that way I can both be seen by my at-home students and my students in the classroom. There we go. So that just kind of gives you a feel for what your students are seeing on a daily basis as far as coming in the classroom. The next thing that I want to show you is our virtual platform. So the big thing in my classroom is Onenote, and I'm sure you've heard about Onenote from your students at home. It's pretty much everything that they need for the entire class for the rest of the year. So what you're going to see on Onenote, if you haven't already taken a look at your students' Onenote, is a series of 3 spaces. The first one is the collaboration space, in which case I close that for my class. We won't be using that. The next one's content library. This is a big one because content library has everything as far as answer keys, blank forms, everything that a student could possibly need. So the first thing we go under is general material, in which case you see the syllabus here. And in the syllabus, your students should have already showed you this and given you an opportunity to read over it in case you had any specific questions about it. How grading works and all this kind of stuff is on the syllabus. Underneath are the load off and Zoom expectations, so what is acceptable in Zoom, just in case you needed that as well. Followed by a parent signature sheet, in which on this parent signature sheet, this should already look familiar to you because all students were required to get their parents or guardians to sign this form, saying they not only read through the syllabus, but they also understand the load off and Zoom expectations. If this form is looking new to you, your student may not have turned this in, which it is counting as a grade, just 1 point, but it's still a grade. And if your student did not show this to you, but they have a grade, they could have potentially forged your signature. So if you have not seen this form yet, please talk to your student about filling it out and submitting it so that they can get that grade. Some other things underneath here, you have a get to know the teacher section. That's more for the students, but you're welcome to view it as well. Canvas notifications. I use notifications a lot to tell students important information kind of last minute. If there's a big change, I'm out sick, or something else happens that I have to change the schedule, snow day, or anything like that. So it's very important that they're constantly checking notifications, in which case the directions on this page kind of help them set up notifications so they can receive it on their phone. The next one is a OneNote user guide. In this user guide, I kind of show a video of how to work OneNote more from a student perspective, some troubleshooting that they might run into, some questions they might have as far as using OneNote. You're welcome to use this as well in case you want to kind of learn more about the software to better help your student. And then the last one under here is the formula sheet. This is more specifically for applied math. And we haven't quite started using this formula sheet, but we will in the upcoming units. Below it, you'll find marking period 1 and eventually marking period 2 when the time comes. And when you click under here, you will notice week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, because we are just about to wrap up week 4. And when you extend these, or expand these, what you're going to see underneath of it is all the worksheets or homework assignments that came along with that week. When you actually click on the week, you will see a packet open up, and again, just clicking on that, in which I normally have a schedule to give students a full view of what the week will include, including homework assignments or due, like Canvas due dates and things like that. If you look at week 4, again, all the notes are in here, but it'll actually say submit to Canvas, things like that. And as students scroll down, they see the the notes. The homework, on the other hand, is posted as a separate worksheet. So the notes are always under like the actual week button, and this one, if I scroll up, looks like it's taking a while to load that one. I don't know why week 2, I might have to zoom out a little bit. Anyways, I don't know why week 2 is not showing up. There it is. Alright, I was just zoomed out too far. Sorry about that. But yeah, so every time you click on a different week, that includes all the notes for that week along with the schedule. And then underneath, you'll see all the answer keys for that week, including a notes answer key. So if a student is absent, they can actually go here and find a version of the filled in notes if they so desire. Under week 4, here's the week 4 key, so they can find those notes as needed. Now, this content library is only for students' viewing purposes. They cannot write in it, they cannot edit it, or anything along that lines. Underneath of content library is a folder that should be labeled with your student's name. Now, for confidentiality reasons, I'm not going to show any of my students, I just have the teacher only section. But the layout is the same as any student would have. So it would be your students folder, they would click under marking period 1, and they would have all the worksheets for the entire, week 1, week 2, week 3 showed to them. When they're in this folder, they can write on it, they can edit it. I can view it, so I have access to look at any student's folders remotely. I can watch students as they're writing in their folders, and I can also lock certain pages if I want them to no longer to be able to write on it, like test material or things like that. So that's kind of the extent of OneNote. And one of the great things about OneNote is you can actually access it on your phone or your tablet. And sometimes parents want to check in on their students and say, are my students actually taking the notes in OneNote? Are they doing their homework in OneNote? In which I have the capability to actually provide you as parents or guardians with a link that is specific to your student. So I come into the folder, you don't have to worry about this, but all I have to do is create a parent or guardian link, and then I would come in here and it says select a student. So if you reach out to me and email me and say, hey, I'd like to have access to such and such's notebook, I'm their parent or something along that lines, all I would have to do is select that student's name. It'll create an individual link. I would share that link with you, and then you would have access to their notebook for the entire year. Now, you only have viewing capability of it, so you can't actually go in and write for them. They are the only ones that can do that, so they would have to do that from their laptop or their iPads or their phone. But this link will at least allow you to see their progress throughout and check in on them as needed. So if that's something that you're interested in, please reach out to me and I would be happy to get you a link for your student. The other thing is just the Canvas page and familiarizing yourself with that. Some big things that I use on Canvas is announcements, as mentioned earlier. Class Notebook, that's just another way for students to access their OneNote app. They can access it through Canvas by clicking on this and then opening the OneNote. Assignments is a big one because I'm having all students submit all of their homework, regardless of whether they complete it on paper or on OneNote. They still have to submit it here on Canvas. So you'll see here under the first one, that signed parent signature sheet that I mentioned before. They actually had to come to assignments, select signed parent signature sheet, and submit the filled out form to me so that it can be graded. If they completed it on OneNote but did not submit it on Canvas, then it will not be graded because I do not check OneNote unless it is submitted here on Canvas, and then I can go check OneNote if need be. One other important tool that you as a parent might find helpful is the grade tool, and I'm not going to click on it for confidentiality reasons, but if you click on this, it should bring up your student's current grade in the class along with a list of all the assignments that they have or have not turned in yet. So this can be a great tool if you want to kind of quickly check to say, hey, how many assignments are you missing? Click this and it should bring up a list of all of their assignments and any that are missing currently. And just a reminder as I wrap up this video, obviously you already found the virtual open house, but if you have any further questions for me, please feel free to please feel free to email me. My email is included on the page here, and I can either get you that link so that you can view your students' OneNote or answer any other general questions. Hope to see you at the Zoom session.